When you look at the flag of the Republic of Fiji, something might seem a little off. Why does a fully independent republic, a nation that declared itself a republic in 1987, still have the Union Jack, the symbol of British monarchy and colonialism, in its flag? Well, that's the peculiarity of the Fijian flag. Its first flag contained the unoriginal Union Jack. From 1877, however, Fiji adopted its own distinct flags. Over the next few decades, its flag changed multiple times, although twice they were minor changes. In 1903, the St. Edward's crown was replaced with the Tudor crown, and in 1924, the white disc surrounding its coat of arms was removed. Its last colonial flag flew for 46 years until independence. In 1970, Fiji adopted its current flag, light blue with the British Union Jack and a shield featuring a lion, sugarcane, a coconut palm, and a dove. All symbols tied to both Fiji's culture and its colonial history. But here's where it gets interesting. In 1987, after 2 military coups, Fiji declared itself a republic, officially breaking its constitutional ties with the British monarchy. The Queen was removed as head of state, and the Governor-General, Sir Penai Ganilau, became the president, serving in that capacity until 1993. The monarchy was gone, but the flag, it stayed the same. Most British colonies on independence ditched the Union Jack completely. Here are a few examples. The colonization of Nigeria began in the 19th century. The formation of a united Nigeria occurred in 1914, with the consolidation of 2 separate protectorates, the Northern Nigerian and the Southern Nigerian protectorates. Upon independence in 1960, the old flag was lowered and the new flag, removing all colonial imagery, was raised. However, the Queen remained head of state for another 3 years. Nigeria's first and only native Governor-General, Nnamdi Azikiwe, appointed in 1960, became president in 1963, serving in this capacity until 1966. Ghana, the colony of the Gold Coast during its time as a colony, was a British possession from 1821 until 1957. The colony consisted of 4 separate jurisdictions, that was the Gold Coast itself, Ashanti, the Northern Territories Protectorate and British Togoland. Upon independence, Ghana, as it was now called, would retain these holdings. On Independence Day in 1957, the Dominion of Ghana retained the Queen as the head of state, but ditched the Union Jack. It would remain a monarchy until 1960, when Prime Minister Kwame Nkrumah became the first president of Ghana, replacing the 5th Earl of Listowel, who had been appointed Governor-General in 1957. Both Ghana and Nigeria, on independence, changed their flags, removing all aspects of colonial imagery, in contrast with Fiji. But what other country also kept its Union Jack after independence? The Pacific nation of Tuvalu, formerly known as the Ellis Islands, was a British colony from 1892 until 1978. Before independence, it was a part of the Gilbert and Ellis Islands colony before splitting in 1976. The Gilbert Islands became Kiribati upon independence. 8 years previously, Fiji had gained its independence and retained the Union Jack, so did Tuvalu. This flag mirrors Fiji's design, with the sky blue background. However, in 1996, the flag was redesigned, the Union Jack was ditched. This decision was unpopular, hence the new flag, raised in January 1996, only lasted until April 1997. The old flag was restored promptly. Perhaps Tuvalu would also have been peculiar, like Fiji, had the monarchy been abolished. In 1986 and 2008, referendums to abolish the monarchy were put before the people. On both occasions, the majority of Tuvaluans rejected the option to ditch the monarchy. Moving back to Fiji, over the last few decades there has been multiple attempts made to remove the Union Jack and the colonial imagery and replace it with something new. In 2005, this was attempted, but the Great Council of Chiefs instead proposed retaining the Union Jack, the sky blue background, and reimposing the coat of arms of Fiji, along with the motto, "Fear God and honor the Queen," like it had been prior to 1970. Nothing came of this proposal. In 2015, Prime Minister Frank Bainimarama announced his intention to redesign the flag. A national competition was held and several proposals were showcased. However, by 2016, plans to change the flag had been dropped. At the Rio Olympic Games in 2016, Fiji won gold. The flag became associated with the achievement that Fiji had attained that day. Also, Cyclone Winston hit the islands that year. The Prime Minister argued the money was better well spent on recovery efforts rather than being spent on a flag change. Because of this, the flag continues to fly today. The monarchy in Fiji also remains in some forms. Until 2012, the Queen remained on banknotes and her birthday was celebrated annually. Today, you'll see the Queen's insignia and the St. Edward crown on the uniforms of the armed forces and the local police force. Could the monarchy be restored? Well, Fiji's leaders want it to be. Prime Minister Bainimarama still displayed portraits of Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip when he was in office. His successor was Prime Minister Sitiveni Rabuka, the coup leader in 1987 which deposed the monarchy. This may seem like a problem for monarchists, but not in this case. Rabuka, in 2024, announced that he had apologized to the Queen in 1998 and had presented another formal apology, this time in the presence of King Charles. His Majesty stated that it was up to the will of the people to decide whether Fiji would reinstate the monarchy. This flag is peculiar, but in the distant future, who knows? The monarchy might be back, and this flag will conform to the other flags with the Union Jacks on them. Thanks for watching.